So shall
J.J. Gomez, Mr. John Porter, Orlando Navarro, Ms. Vienna Frank,
here?
Roberto Gonzalez, Gabriel Gonzalez, Ruby Angel,
Here.
Nidia Robles.
We have quorum.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming, and we're here on a beautiful day outside. It's really beautiful. And still oh, I'm supposed to ask if there's public comments first.
We have
Okay. So, there's a couple of things that I wanted to report. One of is on Monday, we are on schedule to present to council. And it's going to be a very short thing. And one of them is like LCUAS is going to present, basically give a 3-minute on the wheel what we've been doing, okay? And then the ask is for the workshop that's coming up in May. We're going to be telling them who's coming, what we're doing, the 5-year plan, final feedback loop with a city, kind of a, we don't know if it's citywide or stakeholder, like expand the stakeholder invitation to review the 5-year plan in the workshop. But it's going to be I guess a 1.5-day event, and there's going to be a couple of speakers, 2 of which are one session that are the authors of the Texas Food Security Plan, and it's going to be the person who collected the data for it and the person who wrote it. And it's very important because right now, based on this plan, there are 2 Senate bills that are going through the legislature right now on healthy food systems in Texas. So that's one. And then Mark Winnie, who was the original speaker that came in 2018, I believe, or 2018, to talk to us about establishing a food policy council and what it takes and what it is and all of that. He's going to come back and do his speak on Food Town USA, which if you have a chance, look at his video on that. It's very short, very, very short. And it's really great to kind of explain what all of this is about to basically every citizen. It's not super focused on people who are just interested in it. It's like why it's important and why people should get excited about it. So those are the 2 things. And I didn't get a chance to speak to our attorney to find out. Have you heard from her by any chance? About our 501c3. It's been a while, so that's what I'm kind of hoping.
Any day now.
We're going to need some help coming. Sabrina, who I know is on her way, we're going to need some help for this. So hopefully, as I said the last time, we'll be calling you and hopefully soliciting you for some help on this workshop. This is coming out to be a good thing. So hopefully we can have this little presentation be 5 minutes to the council. And the ask is essentially that they give us the HEB room at the library, help us communicate, not hard dollars, but things that they can help us do, like with their PIO and also sponsored in that way. You know, not.
I can speak for the library. I can definitely get you that room. That won't be a problem.
But they cost for $450 unless it's a city event. You know, kind of open. You can talk to them. Okay.
I will let you know by the end of the day.
Okay, so like if it's a city event, it can be until 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
So that, but they will kick you out if it's not a city event at 7:30.
I'll talk to Maria.
Okay.
So what's the dates and the times for the letter?
As soon as Sabrina comes,
Okay,
and
perfect.
she'll. Anyways, and so there's another thing that if we do it, we did this for the comprehensive plan. We invited the public, and what the city did is they put the invitation in the water bill, and so a lot of people came and just kind of reviewed everything. It was really neat. A lot of people who wouldn't normally come, and they really enjoyed listening to the presentation and being part of a workshop. So we might do that as well. So that's something else I know you have to ask for. Oh, pan de dulce, water, you know, those kinds of things. Those are the things that we're gonna ask for.
I can help with that.
Okay. That's cool. Anyways, the day of the workshop event, it'll be really fun to maybe have some of the people who like Palo Blanco or, you know, show what they're doing. Maybe have a few booths there that people can go and talk to them about the people who are growing the mushrooms and, you know, other places. But that's basically, we're just pushing for that event, and hopefully we get our 501c3 letter soon. Okay. So that's it on my part. Secretary?
All right. Well, you ready? There's no easy way to say this, but April 21st, I officially retire from the city of Laredo.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It was a surprise to me too. I got offered a very, very good position outside the city, so I have to do what I have to do. And I have an 82-year-old child at home that's very much looking forward to me taking care of her all the time, and I am looking forward to that as well.
So it's another position in the city?
No, I'm leaving the city. I'm going to be working from home. I'm retiring. I've got 25 years in with the city, so.
So this other job doesn't require you to move?
No.
Okay.
No. And,
Hello.
Wow.
So
Just missed some news.
yeah, it's. I made it official on Monday, and come on in, everyone. And so, as much as I want to say, you know, okay, so you'll never see me again after April 21st.
In your new capacity, is it something you can?
I probably cannot. I probably will for you. I'm not the type of person to drop and run, so I will stick around. I did, however, make one backroom deal, and it affects one person at this table, Federico, who will take over my secretary position when you have friends like John. So I brought Jaime Perez, who is our public information officer. My seat at the table for the health department will be taken over by Cristina Duarte, but she's out for these next couple of days. But you have met her before. She's very, very good, has a lot of energy, and is very knowledgeable. And she also has, much like Viviana, also has my cell phone number. So I am leaving the city, but I'm not leaving the projects that I love. So it's going to be hard for me to let LCUAS go, and it's going to be hard for me to let drug and alcohol and suicide prevention, those committees that you just invest your heart, not necessarily, you know, anything else into. But I'll definitely help you with this.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
This is the third time I hear the speech.
Yeah,
these emotions. So.
Well, congrats on your retirement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm glad you're not you're not leaving, they're working from home.
I'm working from home. I hate to tell everybody, but my mother's 82 and she's lives a great life and has always gone to the doctor, whether it's been good advice from a doctor or not. So maybe 20 years ago, they told her, you know what, you have high cholesterol. You need to cut out the milk and the dairy. So my mom's the type, doctor told me to cut out milk and dairy, so she went cold milk and dairy. No cheese, no ice cream, no milk. So a couple of years ago, swallows. You have severe osteoporosis. Well, see, you cut out the milk and the dairy, Mom. Come on, no, life's about a balance, and that's what we do here. So now she's on all these pills, and she's very fragile and frail. And if she falls, she breaks 4 bones, cracks them all, and she doesn't have the strength in her hands to put her drops in her eyes. So I wake up in the morning. I go home, take care of her. If I want to go out to dinner or I'm going to go see a concert or something, it's either before or after 8. But my kids help as much as they can. But she took care of me for 51 years, and I'm going to take care of her from now on. So it is what it is, and we all have our decisions to make and follow. So that's where we're at. Parks and Rec is here. So.
I got lost. I didn't know where the meeting was. I was running around asking where's
that he had. I brought the health department PIO for a reason. If there's anything that needs to be done, we can absolutely help. Or if you guys think it's good the way it is, we can leave it alone. Viviana, just because I'm leaving doesn't mean that I'm leaving you shorthanded. Chris is in charge of health education. Jaime will continue to show up if you guys need anything published, if you need a little bit of information. They know anything that LCUAS shares, we share on our social media. None of that will change.
Okay. Well, I'm retiring. I go where he goes. Okay. Well, I guess a question would be is, does anybody want to join us? Or I don't know how it works with city employees to help be part of this presentation. I don't know if it's a thing that you all don't do, but
My recommendation is, Dr. Chamberlain saw this on the council agenda, which is presentation by LCUAS, a City of Laredo local government resolution, including discussion and possible action concerning the progress of the Laredo Food Policy Council 5-year action plan for establishing a healthy food system and the forthcoming public engagement event, co-sponsored by Tyler King and Melissa Sierra. So honestly, I thought it would possibly be him with you or vice versa. Dr. Chamberlain has asked for information about LCUAS, and he is there, and there's nobody quicker on his feet than him. So
okay, so he would go up with us, or?
if you ask him to and you want him to, he would.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. And if anybody else would like to join us, Sabrina's going to be reporting from the city makery side.
Right, and that's the whole thing. He would basically just say how the health department supports the endeavors here, and how us, along with Parks and Rec, environmental planning, that we all work together. But the meat and the bones would be whatever's in the presentation. But you would have the city support there.
Okay, well, I guess I can talk to him when I get there, or should I call him beforehand? Just
I'll see
after.
him after.
Okay, fair. Okay, so is that, well, our treasurer isn't here, so does anybody, we'll
No.
just go for the next
Right.
meeting, executive director?
Well, my name is Jose Moreno, and I've been the executive director since August 2020 to this day. I have a quick presentation ready for you, where we will see these six bubbles or 6 icons, which are basically the reason of our existence, right? We're going to start with permitting with city government in policy development and implementation. Well, in 2018, a group of visionary persons and city officials created NCUAS. It was created as a local government corporation and the niche urban agriculture in Laredo and to promote sustainable practices. So thanks to them, they gave us, well, this is an antique picture of the Casa Canseco, and here are our main mission from A to G. And I'm happy to report that we have, in 2 years and a half, we have a touch in advance in every of those reasons, and we're going to go over them today. We have two community gardens, one at Casa Canseco and the other one at Blas Castañeda Park in McPherson. These are just quick examples of people gathering in our community garden. We have had the pumpkin patch 2 occasions. We provide technical assistance and training to the community. We have held workshops on site in teaming up with AgriLife Extension. These are some pictures of those sessions and those slides. In public and private schools as a trainer or as a presenter. These are some examples, well, with kids from Appleby Math and Science Center, but I've also collaborated with United, with Alexander, with Martin High School, and right now we are talking to United High 9th grade because we are planning to plant 25 trees with Able City but that's another project. Here I'm providing some training on site in the community garden and here at the school at an event that they had. We have been a source of produce for the farmers market, a regular source for the past 2 years. We have participated in both locations in downtown. This was the first time the farmers market, well, the time the farmers market reopens after the pandemic. We can see we'll be there. This is just examples of what we have been growing. This is the new location at Laredo at the outlet shops. We are a central hub for sustainable practices and environmental stewardship. We have one or three sessions per week. It depends on weather, it depends on holidays or seasons, but this is what we normally do. We work the soil, we communicate, we teach the community how to do it in order so they can replicate those practices at home or whatever they want. This is what we basically do in every gardening session. Well, this is a composting site that we created with a couple of organizations. He represents a local business, and she represents a Laredo compost organization. We work with kids. We work with any city resident that come to the garden. And also we have had some food drives, health markets, mercaditos, and we have been trying to be that central hub that our mission states. These are regular tasks that we do in every gardening session. We maintain the gardens, we procure the soil, we work with seeds and plants. We have been working with City Makery to develop the Laredo Food Policy Council. We have been meeting for a year. We have a mission, and we want to have a local and healthy food system in Laredo. So we're in the first steps. We need to make the 5-year plan and continue with our mission. This is when you got the check, the grant. We the last October we had a free tree giveaway. We gave away 260 native trees. We worked together with Texas A&M Forestry Service, with Trees Wildlife, and the City of Laredo, of course, and the Texas Conservation Alliance. We had a great success because we had about 400 RSVPs, and we just had 260 trees. So it was a first come, first served system. Well, this is not our place, but here's the picture of what I'm telling you. This was in October. And this other project is with a group of Boy Scouts. We planted 20 trees in Casa Canseco, fruit trees. We're trying to have a fruit forest at home at Casa Canseco. And those are our 6 reasons to exist. And we touch a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, I think this going in and out is gonna be like there's a lot.
Well, it's because I came back to the first one, but I mean, as soon as we end, yeah, it's a go.
Okay, so did you have any comments on?
I was thinking, I like what you did there. There were some aspects when you would hit some of the pictures and it looked like they were repeating, but we can definitely fix that. I think that the Food Policy Council bullet should be the last one.
Okay.
And if Sabrina could present on that one and show a transition, and then maybe Viviana wrap the whole thing up. So you would only present on LCUAS, and I would kind of maybe, what do you think, Viviana? I think he's talking, I think it's too long.
It's too long, and I can help you with some of all that writing and stuff.
That's gonna go.
That's gotta go, and you gotta use bullets, and that'll help you. Like, just go in and out. Don't go in and out on each bullet. It's gonna make. It's very. I feel very dizzy when and those people are looking at these screens. The council are looking at the screen right there. So it's in and out way too much, I think.
So I see what he's doing. He's doing it on Prezi, and I love Prezi because it's pretty and it's interactive and it's new. But do you want it on a PowerPoint?
Well, I think if he can just go, once he hits on it and it zooms in, if he can just list the projects.
Okay, start from the beginning, Jose, please. Okay, so on that one, you delete the picture of the resolution and you type in the highlighted.
Okay.
And that's it. And that's all for that one.
And by the way, the mission is not just urban agriculture, it's a lot of stuff in there. So we have to like, yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. So I think what we were gonna do is make a little booklet, right, that kind of goes into it that they can take with them or look at it while they're listening or whatever.
We can print all that and have that for them at the meeting.
That's good. That's good. The other thing is too, is we do not have, we don't house anything in Canseco except for the garden. That's all we're doing. And I think there's a misconception in the public, and maybe even with the council, that we are actually, LCUAS, is in that building.
Oh, no. No, in reality, I don't have a key. I don't actually know the house.
So that's what she's saying, take off the pictures of the building
And
and
just
focus more
on the-
on the garden.
Right, and in fact, we don't have an office.
I don't have an office.
Right, so,
In fact, sometimes we don't have nothing.
right. Oh, they didn't put the,
Oh yeah, it's
It's
done
done,
again, but yeah.
okay. So, yeah, that'll make it easier, and then like, I guess
From here, from this.
As soon as Viviana approves it, you email it to us and we'll get it done and we'll have it for,
can you come tomorrow to my office and we'll
Yep.
go through it? I've never used this program, but I think, I like the idea of the moving and it's nice. But once you click on it once and zoom in or
Well,
out.
I guess it's because I was like un poquito rápido, pero I mean, if you go,
Pues rápido vas a tener que hacerlo,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
so no,
Because the,
yeah. No,
Yeah,
no,
we
because
can
you're
just
gonna-
keep it to
I think
5.
she's gonna cut questions. If council asks questions, it's over, you know, you'll lose track and then you'll still have 17 slides to go.
no,
So.
I know, it's, yeah. And it's really, they literally, the last meeting, didn't finish, so they had last meeting stuff and this meeting stuff. So I'm serious, this is 5 minutes, and we need to be able to, and it's not just you 5 minutes, the
yeah,
whole thing.
nosotros, yeah,
That means the information at the end, which is where we're asking for. They say, all those in favor, yay, we get it.
Yeah, so I would kind of budget 2 minutes, was that?
mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
And I'll help you do that when you get to, we'll figure out what time after the meeting. Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of people who don't, there are a lot of new people there, this is our first time. People can ask us questions later.
It's gonna be the first time since the creation of the.
Yeah. And there's a lot of new people up there. And, okay. Are you done?
Yeah, with the presentation, yes, but I want also to put something on the table.
Sure.
I'm gonna start working with Francisco. We wanna apply to a grant, a Feeding America grant.
Okay.
The one I had sent you guys.
Yes.
I know you guys had it. Perfectly.
Wait, what we
Will,
do?
yeah.
Do you need other nonprofits to?
Yes.
So basically what the grant says is we can apply for either 250,000 or up to 500,000, depending what kind of stage we're in. We're thinking about doing the 500,000, which is implementation. So the food bank essentially would be working towards securing, food system,
Mhm.
but working with local organizations, and they don't need to be 501s. We can funnel the money into El Paso in case we didn't have a 501 yet.
Okay.
Right? So basically, we were thinking of different projects. I think Jose can talk a little bit more about that, and also possibly working with other organizations that are on the same mission, same track that we're trying to push here.
Okay, sounds.
Yeah, basically we wanna have more growers, local growers for the farmers market and local businesses.
Right. So we were thinking maybe doing like micro grants to increase capacity for production and to we'll see which kind of projects. I don't know what else we talk about. There's money that can also be spent on research.
Yes, we can do. We can actually do whatever we want.
Well, look at the 5-year plan. There's all sorts of different projects
Right.
on there for
And-
all this.
The interesting thing, I guess, the thing that's most beneficial is 85% of the money that the food bank gets needs to go out to the organizations. So the food
Okay.
bank will only stay with a minimal amount.
Okay.
Right. Admin expenses, things of that nature. Everything else would go directly to the organizations that we work with.
That's great.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
Would LCUAS be one of those organizations that you work with that you're talking
course.
about?
Yes,
Or
that's
is there-
exactly that's what.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, on the 5-year plan, there's like a lot of workshops that we have, like
So we
ideas
can,
that
we can
So-
do
we want LCYS to do.
Right. So my thing is basically like the food bank would be applying, right? Saying we would get funded. I would want LPOS to kind of lead the project.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. So everything would fall under LPOS. Definitely.
So, but do you need a definition of specific project? Or
I need to know more or less what we're going to try to do here, but I think I can go with Jose on that and you know what we want to push as far as I can. You have a copy of the grant in your email
Right.
somewhere, so
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
yeah, if you could. It gives some examples of things that they're planning on doing, and just FYI, this money comes from Mackenzie Scott. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So some of the examples are investing in farmers, growers, producers, distributors, kind of what I'm talking about. Workforce development and employment training as part of a healthy local food system. Reducing dependency on charitable food systems, investing in place-based concentrated food security resources, expansive food access plans, forging cross-sector partnerships, healthcare, housing with food systems, building capacity of POCs. Oh, that's one thing I do need to mention, but obviously everyone here is POCs, which is POC-led, which is hard to do.
95%.
Exactly. Yeah, and building the capacity of organizations POC-led as far as active civic leadership with food justice, with a food justice lens. I'm not really familiar with food. Community-based research on food security, which is
Everything that we're doing.
Exactly.
So, when you sit down and talk, I think we need to
Okay.
all
We need to
sit
put a
down and
little-
we'll show you
Yeah.
the, I mean.
We need to
can
put a
probably
little
send
bit
you
of
the
pressure on this because
You have 2 weeks to.
2 weeks, yeah. This
Okay.
I'll do on the 16th, which isn't hard to do. If the application is actually on here, it's like, let me read it. It's real simple. It's basically just asking us. Give me 1 second, sorry. The application just wants to know that what is the funding going towards, and the choices are providing food to communities of color or rural communities, and what the grant will sustain, and what communities do you plan to specifically target with the grant funding? Obviously, we're gonna, communities of color. Feeding America doesn't see Webb County as a rural county, based on the RUC codes. I don't know if you're familiar with those. So Webb County is not, but the outlying parts, like Encinitas or Laredo, do count, but we can't really claim to be working towards rural communities. So it'd be communities of color on this one.
So, well, there's a lot to choose from in this
Yeah.
5-year plan. I have to
Yeah.
tell you, I mean.
No, but the good thing one thing that I'm noticing about a lot of the grants that are coming out with Feeding America is they're starting to support a lot of this kind of work, which is good news for us.
And so is the state of Texas.
Exactly. Yes. So there's definitely movement towards that. See.
We're ahead of the.
So when I saw this,
Yeah.
because I really hope that we do get the funding, because I think we'll be able to do some amazing things
Yeah.
with this. Yeah.
Okay, well, again, whenever you want to.
Yeah.
You just shoot me a text.
Okay. Can we try to do it next week sometime?
Sure, of
Okay.
course,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay.
We have a lot of stuff written
Yes.
already, so
Okay.
we might be able to just shoot you some stuff.
So that way I can go ahead and apply and get it out of the way and cross your fingers and we'll see. We should have a decision by, I believe it's June.
Great.
And the money, if accepted? or June?
Yeah, and then the project would start, the money would come in by July. So it'll be, the turnaround is quick.
Wow, I love Mackenzie.
So do I.
So,
Last time about Job Corps, about getting them on board. So they want to schedule a site visit, just to make sure that, the conditions are safe for their students and make sure that there's a bathroom, which is one of the big things.
For the party? but,
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I don't
yeah,
have,
whatever.
we don't have access to that.
Yeah. So if all that goes well, then we should be able to get some Job Corps kids to help.
okay. So, actually, grants and things, these are like things that we can also put in there that are, when you come in, we'll go over. Okay. So, membership of committee members?
Yes, that one was on there because we have a committee member that has never shown up to a meeting.
Oh,
So the president would probably entertain a motion to dismiss.
okay. So how would I make a motion? Make a motion for a, how about a
It would be
board member committee?
It would just be, well, I can make a motion. I make the motion to remove Claudia San Miguel as the academic sector representative because she has never.
And do you want to suggest replacing
I don't think we have anybody.
anybody?
Can we talk to academic persons?
You
And
can talk to whoever you want, but the first step is to remove this person, have a vacancy. But this is the first step.
Academic sector, is that somebody that's working with the schools?
linked to Tammy or LC,
And-
a professor?
So what we need right now is somebody to second.
Second. Oh, I can't second.
The class of
Yes,
volunteers.
we-
I don't remember.
All those against?
Perfect.
Motion
passes.
carries.
Right.
Okay.
So Maria Fer will. Next meeting, there'll be an item for membership of, we'll keep that item on there, Maria Fer. And then and the committee will vote them in.
And that's the only vacancy that.
Was here, Nidia texted that she could come, but she
She's
got
not
tied
here.
up. Ruby's here, Valerie's here, we know Bobby's around. Rico, the new secretary, JJ sends a representative, and I will send two.
So, but LCUAS still kind of is under the health department, right?
The health department
Is
is
like
the
whole
liaison
liaison.
for
Okay.
the city of Laredo and LCUAS. So when you said, I would like to get the library,
Yeah,
the board president for LCUAS would ask the city liaison to say, can you please help me get the library? And that's what we did.
and they have dates that are available and they can just forego the fee?
That's
Okay.
what we will absolutely try to do as soon as we get the dates and the times.
Perfect.
We have the.
So I don't even have to bring that up on Monday.
I'm gonna try to get it done today so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just email you the dates and the time?
Oh, she
Text it
has
to me, that'll be better.
Okay.
What are the
Okay.
proposed dates for the event?
May, what?
The
They
it's the
changed.
Wednesday. It's the. I know there was a lot of back and forth there for a minute. It's the Thursday, the Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday evening, Thursday until probably 8:30.
Okay.
Make sure on that.
Starts at 9.
So she'll send me all that stuff. I'll talk to them. Hopefully they have it available. If not,
Well,
then I'll let her know.
they have our name on the calendar, right, Sabrina?
They have my name. Yes.
They-
Or what? Or
For the HEB room.
yeah. They. I already talked to Irma, who's there at the. Here on the calendar, but it's nothing is set in stone until you pay. And if the city wants to use the room, we have to honor their.
But they have us penciled in on those
Well,
dates.
what name did you use?
My name, Sabrina.
Okay.
Why?
So for the future, you put Laredo Center for Urban Agriculture, which is an official City of Laredo committee.
Okay.
So
I
this
think
we are
I
the City
put
of Laredo.
City Makery.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
I'll get it
instead
all
of-
cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it easier.
And then once we have all those dates sent, you all can develop some sort of flyer and stuff, and our PIOs can pass it out, and they can schedule interviews for.
With the media, whatever the case is.
We need to get an invitation or, you know, that kind of specific
We
outreach.
have a list of people that we always invite,
Okay.
and they'll get it.
Whatever media list, whatever you
Okay.
need.
I have a texting service at the food bank, which I have thousands and thousands of people in that service. I can put it out to, and I have social media as well.
There you go.
So, as like, probably at the end of, probably the first week of April, we'll start, well, this coming soon, we'll start next week, like trying to form a committee that can have those different tasks. Anyways, I don't know whether there's gonna be a lot of people who come or, you know, and so I hope the HEB room is gonna be big enough, but anyways. So.
Are we doing like a pre-registration? Or?
No, we can't do the workshop kind of where you're signing up for different things. We decided to do a civic engagement process type of thing that lasts a few hours. Of kind of get people to commit for like a plenum type of thing. And we didn't have, I don't think we had enough money to bring a lot of those people in. So thanks to the hard work of people who are just committing, you know, their time and energy. Status of 501c3. We
I got it.
Oh, you did?
Of course.
Oh, so.
Okay, so he sent us a picture. He's got everything on there. Meaning Andy Guardiola, our attorney, is monitoring it. He's like, there has been. So it's moving slowly. And then he threw in the IRS received money from Congress to hire more personnel. It doesn't seem like it. Haha. So it's in process. We don't have an answer yet, but at least all the paperwork is filed, and we've never been at this point where it's not on our end anymore. So
Right.
we're just waiting on the federal government at this point.
So they didn't send something that.
Line
Big?
picture where you can monitor your status, but there's nothing
Nothing.
returned yet.
Oy. Okay. So, I think you wanna, when is the next week? We can go on to the next item, which is 10, Food Policy Council update. When's the next Food Policy Council meeting?
It's gonna be April 3rd. This.
It's in the morning, right? 10 a.m.?
At 10:30 a.m. It'll be here, but in the auditorium. That's the next meeting. We'll be going over details for the event, so you guys know more about it.
And we've updated the 5-year plan to include.
We've been updating it, right. The Texas Department of Agriculture released a study, which was awesome. But we're kind of tweaking it and adding stuff into the 5-year plan that kind of is talked about in the study.
But mostly it was all there.
Yeah, it was really on par with what we have in the action.
And also, there was a lot of kind of feedback at the last meeting, and there was some tweaks in there that were put in.
Right.
Already, I know everybody's been there one time or another, but And if you know of any organizations, it's still time for organizations to participate and come in and be part of the Food Policy Council.
Yeah.
We've already talked about, is that it on the Food Policy Council?
I think so.
I think so too. So 11 is council presentation. Is there anybody who would like to make any other statements or comments or bring us up to date on something?
I'm currently talking to Councilman Tyler King about doing another community garden at North Central Park next to the 88 Park. And so long term, maybe we'll have another one there. So. And then we're working on another community garden that's going to be located next to the mall. I don't know if you know, there's like a little tiny little park. We're going to convert that into like a private community garden with like a padlock and.
Behind the bank,
Yeah.
across from Laredo Morning Times.
Yes.
So I have a question about that. So this Parks is doing their own?
No, it's.
Are you going to be working with LCUAS on these, or?
I'm just building them, so I don't know anything after that.
It's not something that would fall on.
We have somebody that's a forestry that works with
Mr. Navarro.
Mr. Navarro. He takes care of that, so that's not. But I'm just in charge of like building them, so
Planning, building them? You're gonna-
designing them. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess, do you need any help from Jose, or?
Well, do you guys have any ideas on like what you have?
It's all container grown?
No, it's going to be. It's not container. It's going to be on the ground.
Well, okay, yeah.
Biointensive, like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. some
They're
of
not
them-
elevated beds.
Yeah, some of them will be ADA elevated beds.
Okay.
So it's interesting because there's Jose, who has been like, that's why he was hired to help like develop not only production from raised beds or any kind of thing, but also that's for the city of Laredo basically. So as a clearinghouse, as a information and how to put these in a way that they'll be managed. Or is this?
This is a design portion, so basically I create plans and you guys can throw darts at it and then we work on it and then we just massage it into what we want it to be.
So you're putting in the soil and you're putting in the plants and.
Well, the plants, no, just the soil. The plants are seasonal, so you guys would be the ones picking what you're going to put in there. So you would just have to decide.
When you say you guys, you're saying
yeah,
the organization?
Yeah, the organization.
Takes it over and keeps it going,
Yeah, yeah.
just like the way we do at Conseco.
hmm I think that's how we should do it because in order to get enough community engagement, you need like another organization to monitor it because the people that take care of the park aren't going to know anything.
And all that.
And the water.
Well, the water would be the parks.
Yeah, the water would be
Oh,
park.
so this is public land that you're putting in.
Yeah,
It
it
already
would be-
has water.
It would be at the park, yeah.
Okay.
So it would be at North Central.
So all LCU has to do is put in this.
He's also doing workshops out there, or they're going to LCUAS, the main demonstration garden, which is at Conseco House, and learning there and then going over there. There's got to be some coordination.
Have a coordinator at each garden, like a group of volunteers with a representative at each garden.
Yeah, so once we get there, we'll have to figure it out. But I've been talking to him about that corner, and it's just like a perfect spot for a place to put a garden. And it would be next to the.
Is it going to be gated?
Yes, I mean, just to prevent the javelinas from getting in, but it would be for anybody to come in and be able to go.
And go,
Yeah, because it's gonna be in the style of the food forest.
North Central Park.
So
Oh,
food
North Central
forests
Park.
don't have where you access the like the seeds, all those things, but everything else can just be free.
no,
But we just would have a perimeter fence to prevent the javelinas from going in.
I just think it would be beneficial to like sit down and plan this out with,
Yeah, I can talk to Mr. Navarro about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I've been talking to him about it, so we'll have to have a meeting to talk about it because it's pretty exciting. We'll have two
I
more.
have very good relationship. I'm open to.
Yeah, that sounds good because I mean I envision this being a much bigger deal and definitely something at the north would be good because we don't have anything up there. We have up here in the north.
so it would be really great if there could be a you can build up of how, who's gonna do what, and, I mean, what is necessary from LCUAS so that it can be a productive,
Yeah.
because right. And then there's the City of Laredo Parks Department, and they're doing their own thing. That's what it sounds like. But without this kind of like,
No, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because we just had a just discussed, and he was asking me to develop plans to create a community garden. So yeah, but that one is going to be private. So that. So the only people that could access it are the people in the neighborhood. Check on it, but it's going to be more led by the community. But that's not something I've discussed yet.
okay, well, a little bit more about how, because
But I've helped to design gardens that they look great, and it's years later and there's still a lot of people. But it's because you have to have an active amount. Require community service hours for their magnet programs, so you'll have students constantly being able to go and get hours.
Yeah, that's what we are learning.
So I have a question. Hopefully Viviana or you Guillermo can answer. How, does the relation at all? Nothing. Okay.
well, here's the thing. This has always been it's created under the interpretation. A lot of different. Everybody thinks it's only for like toll roads, although it is for that. It's also for a lot of different other things. And for example, the House bill that hopefully will get passed in the session, it lists organizations that are created under the transportation code as one of the organizations that can receive money through the state. So, but you also have to be a 501c3. because otherwise it's only, it would be only a organization that is run exclusively under the city. Kind of like when they a metro or something, it's the same board. So in this way, it's a little bit different. Also, this isn't the only grant that you were talking about that kind of look. It just can't be the city, or it just can't be one. They want to see you partner, with public entities or with NGOs or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the other reason why you have to have a 501c3. It's really this way of doing of organizing this organization. It's really the first one of its. Even though there's other local government corporation, the housing authority is a local government corporation. It's really the first one that it functions kind of differently from the other two, which is El Metro and the housing. It functions for a different thing that the city isn't used to seeing it that way. Trying to understand why we couldn't get our 501c3, the city said we didn't need it, when in reality we needed it. And the thing that was keeping us from doing it is when the statute says you have to form a 501c3 under the Texas whatever, and they did it under the city. And so every time we went to get it would say, well, you already exist.
So it prevented us from actually going out and seeking funding independently.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So it took a long time to understand that.
I think another motto would be keep Laredo beautiful. Is there a nonprofit under the city?
And that is actually a nonprofit. That is not a Texas local government corporation. It's actually a nonprofit that is in there. They have like a nonprofit something or other that houses different little nonprofits and that the city has.
Yeah.
This is actually, it has a lot of potential, especially when you're developing something like a healthy food system.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a complex, complicated thing, and that's why they call it a system, and that's why you can.
So at what point do we actually go out and seek an office?
Actually, the Casa Consejo is under construction, but they don't have a use for it. So we've had a lot of discussions about it because they were trying to turn it into like some sort of venue, but then they decided that it wasn't really. The first floor is okay, but the second floor is totally just, no one can go up there.
Not yet. No studies too.
Yeah.
They were just kind of hoping for the carriage house so that they could have the office upstairs,
So you have it.
All the floors are like broken in.
Right.
I don't know if you've been in there.
Yes.
No, I've never been in there. But I had even thought maybe even like a portable building on the location or something.
That's great. I mean, it would be perfect once they fix it.
No.
I mean, if we get this grant, maybe we could get a portable, like little cabañitas that have the used car lots and stuff like that. Maybe something like that to start off, right?
I just don't know why they don't let you just use the first floor.
Has it ever been requested?
No.
Well, I think a lot of it is that there's been a lot of political backlash on that courthouse, which, whatever. But it's not even political, it's more like social media stuff.
Oh, okay.
But, I do think that wherever it is, an office half the size would be.
Right, well, I mean, like if we start getting
and a storage,
Exactly. I think, if we get this grant approved, then we're.
The issue historically with Conseco is, and I agree, what about just the first floor? you still have to put electricity in it. You still have to put AC in it. And AC is probably the biggest challenge. Even if you do the first floor, you have to section off the first floor from the second floor, and you have to make it safe, because anything that goes on there, whether somebody trips and falls or whether somebody falls through a roof, they're going to sue the city.
Right.
And that's the whole thing about the city of Laredo. The city will do everything in its power to avoid a potential lawsuit. So they would rather it not be occupied than have a chance for somebody to get hurt. Furthermore, since we are the city, we're bound by all the ADA requirements. So that's an old building, but because we're the city of Laredo, the restrooms, everything.
But that's only if somebody with a need requires it.
No,
Otherwise,
it's not.
actually, it's a grandfather clause. So only if the only reason they would come out to do it is if somebody actually had a disability that was working there, and then they would have to change. Like they would forcibly have to change the building. But if there's no need for it, then it doesn't get triggered.
Oh, I don't know about that one. That one would be a back and forth, because I see what you mean on the grandfather clause, but since there's nobody working there yet, by not having it ADA accessible, we prevent people and we create a barrier for people who are potentially willing to work there or apply to work there that have a limitation to not want to. And that's where the city will get into trouble. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's say LCUAS grows, and LCUAS takes the whole bottom floor, and LCUAS has an opening for a secretary, but the building is not ADA accessible. What happens in the meantime?
Yeah. So that would be-
That's the area. That's
gray.
the gray area that the city would want to avoid. You are probably 100% right, but legally, the city doesn't want to get into it. Like Viviana says, social media will rip them apart. The media will rip them apart in the a lot of money.
Well, at that point, I think the organization would have grown, to the size where also because of grant requirements, we would probably already have some kind of a liability insurance in place, at least $1 million, because
Sure.
a lot of grantors required.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Well, was there anything else? I appreciate everybody. You want to say something about Ruby? I'm really interested. What about the volunteers? Are you still seeing people come in? And
Yeah, we're seeing people just drive by and stop by to see what the times, and then we have a lot of people. We had the conference in TAMIU, and we did have a lot of people interested in.
We'll have two
volunteer.
groups from that meeting, from that conference. We'll have two groups coming to the
And are you keeping up with your data?
yes,
with
in
all
the
the
database. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming. So I think we're going to be doing some really great things, and I'll see you at the next meeting. When will that be? I know we have. It's probably going to be a week later than what we anticipate. Or are we going back to the regular schedule? There was a schedule that we had.
Yeah, it's the third Thursday, April 20th.
Is that okay with everybody?
People what?
20th?
April 20th.
So I did have a question. So John asked me to be appointed for the representative. Would that be an agenda item for next time?
Yeah, we'll throw it on there.
Okay.
Actually, I asked John.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Federico.
No.
Oh,
Melissa, I'm a part of the Frontera Grocery Co-op Board of Directors.
The Frontera Co-op.
Yes.
Can you just, 2 more minutes, please, if you say what you...
Oh yes, so this is my first time being here. My name is Melissa Domini. I'm a part of the Frontera Grocery Co-op, and we want to, cooperate with everyone, with the city, try to find a fiscal sponsor. I was going to ask you about the 501c3, but answered my question.
So please come to the Food Policy Council
Yes,
meeting,
of course.
because,
April 3rd.
April 3rd? Okay.
do you have her information?
No, I don't
Could
have
you all share?
I've gone to one Food Policy Council meeting and I left my email and information. But
Okay,
yes,
then I have it then.
but let me give it to you right now.
Yeah.
In the sign-in sheet, but I'll give you my personal. It's Melissa.
Wait, we're on candid camera here.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll do it after the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, Sharon.
Sabrina, I would like to proclamation.